So my hubby, my fiance, my partner, who's in there doing his thing, went to a store called Fits and Books. Was that the name of the store?
Yeah, Fits Books.
And I know the world seems like it's coming to an end. There's an increase in misogynoir. Families are not necessarily doing as well as they could be, and there's immense hatred in the world. But there's still a God. And when there's still a God, if you are a person who believes in God, you may not be perfect. You may be like me. You may be having to deal with immense trauma. You may have come from a broken family. You may have had to deal with narcissism. You may be still dealing with narcissistic abuse. You may have had to overcome a great deal of violence. And you may be still healing. But in 2026, today, if you're able to still smile, and if you're able to still go out and get some cool stuff and support small businesses, and still, if you're able to do the things that bring you joy and promote healthy living, then as far as I'm concerned, you have God on your side. And you are truly blessed. That probably was like the most cringiest thing I've ever said, but it's what I believe. Like, sometimes I have to deal with negativity from individuals and entities that are extremely narcissistic. But those people who want to create suffering for others, they will not continue on in their behavior. They will not be here for very long. Those particular people crash and burn. So just don't give up and continue to pursue what makes you happy. This is like a personal message. Today, my partner went out and got some cool books from a place called Fits and Books. And so one of the books that he got is called The First Four Notes, Beethoven's Fifth and the Human Imagination. This looks like a really cool book. And I can't really pronounce the last name of the guy, but I'm going to try it. The author is Matthew Goreri. I tried. And this is the book here that he got for himself. And he also got The Dawn of Tantra by Herbert V. Gunther. I heard that name before. And that's that. And then there's Rumi, the Essential. I'm assuming he got this for me, but you know what? I should probably ask. But that is this. This looks brand new. Brand new. This is a used bookstore, and some of these books look brand new. I know he got this for me. Picasso. I don't know. Like, sometimes YouTube could be a bit strange. So, and then Tibetan Buddhism. There's that. Tibetan Buddhism. And then last but not least, Sri Rama Gita. Those are cool books, honey, that I would love for you to read to me, because I am like one of those people that like to be read to, aside for like when I get books that have pictures in it, like this Picasso art book. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I am a happy woman. Anyway, so Today we're going to talk about how to not get so caught up in the drunkenness. Because if you're from the West, you may have been raised Christian, okay, and towards the end of days, the world will be seemingly drunk. Oh, my camera's all twisted. Oh, there you go. So that means that you'll have people go that are overly political, on top of being overly political, not necessarily making any sense. There'll be lots of wild behavior because there's poison in the food and in the air and in the water, and it's very hard to filter it all out. And in addition, for those things that are natural and those people that are natural and those people who are coming from the oldest tribes in the world, there's immense hatred for them and for just natural things in general. And then to top it off, there are there's a lot of misogyny and hate towards women and people who are weaponized and on either the far end of the left or far end of the right. So there's a lot of that going on, plus aliens and World War III. So with that being said, try not to get overwhelmed or distracted or lost in a 9 to 5. And so how do you do that? It's easier to do when you're older because you realize that the world was going to end in 2012, but it didn't. And if you're even older, you realize that the world was supposed to end in 1980s, 1984, 1983, but it didn't. And if you go further back, you realize the world was supposed to end in the 60s, and in the 50s, and in the 40s. The world was supposed to end a lot, and it hasn't yet. So, we just don't know. And still people live, they produce, they create, they inspire, and then they die. And so with that, you realize that if you study history, some people are just so wrapped up in video games and wrapped up in celebrities and social media that they don't actually look at history. I don't know why. I always had a fascination for history because I always thought that the art and the sculptures and the buildings from ancient civilizations were just profound. So I've always looked into history, and I realized that when it comes to history, everyone thinks that the world's going to end, but they end. I guess their world ends, but the world doesn't end. Not necessarily. And so instead of me and instead of anyone that's watching, instead of us continuously going down this rat race and this cycle of, oh my goodness, the news said this, the Pentagon said that, the government is doing this, and this has to be taken care of on this day, otherwise everything will come crashing down. Let's just enjoy the little things that we have. I seen the funniest thing recently. I was watching something about I was watching the news. It was pertaining to Iran, and there was a reporter in Iran, and he was talking about how things are really bad. But there was people just sitting outside the coffee shop in Iran, just drinking coffee and looking at side-eyeing the reporter, what are you doing in the middle of the walkway? Why are you filming us? Who are you? Can we enjoy our coffee? And while I understand that there were people that were enjoying their coffee before 9/11 happened, and that things can just go kaboom out of nowhere, I understand that. Those things will, random, wild, catastrophic things will happen. People will be caught by surprise. These things happen regardless. But there's a difference between me going to the store and then kaboom, a gas line explodes, or there's a terrorist attack. There's no news reporters like there's going to be a terrorist attack coming. Like, do you understand? Like, it's just way. So many of these guys are just way too invested in creating this hypo, like, what do you call it? Just instilling fear in the public, and it distracts you from actually enjoying life. I mean, it certainly has distracted me in many cases, and I've had to remind myself that, what the fuck can I do about it? I'm not a soldier. Like, I can't put on a backpack and be like, it's time to go to war. You know, I could try, but I'm not really that good when it comes to combat. You know, and like, and so in the midst, before things get really bad, I want to enjoy the culture that I'm a part of, and the people that are the reason why I'm here, and the things that God instilled in me that I like. And I would encourage the rest of you to do that to the best of your ability. There's always going to be people that are narcissistic and wicked that will try to prevent you from enjoying your freedom.